Welcome to Trading Lounge and the S&P 500, and just starting on the weekly chart, then we'll go daily and hourly, but we're very close to it. We're either got a top in place for wave 3 there, as you can, this wave 3 here, or we've got one more little push up. So what we need to do is have a bit of a strategy in place to take any short positions if we get lower prices. So let's go in and have a look at that. But before we do, just to get a bit of an idea that from wave 2 low here, let's just say that the market moves to the 2,500 here. Well, then the 38.2% retracement level comes in around the 2,300 here, or the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So this is quite a sort of significant move back here that we can be looking at. So just bearing that in mind here. So from this wave 4 here, let's just go into the daily chart. So that picks it up from here. This is the standard possible wave 4 retracement level here. We've been counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and up for 5 here. Now there is a count where a top is in place here, but there's also still a count left that we can have another little push up here as well. So let's go and investigate that on the hourly chart here and come up with a bit of a plan. So at this stage here, it's quite possible to, if I can just remove that here and that here for a moment, it's quite possible to have this here as wave 3, or coming up from this wave 4 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then up for 5 here, of 5 of 5 of 3 here. So that's, if that is the case, then I would suggest that we look for short positions under this price point here. This is all group 2 here, 65, 72 and 80 here. So obviously under this would be significant, but we could also, I mean, technically it would be here, but then we can move to here. We could probably even move it in here as well. So we could say that if the 2470 became a retested resistance, we could also use that as well as a tested resistance, not just arriving there. So I'll just do the safe bet and just put that here for the moment, but you know that 270 sort of area there, and I'll just save that. The other wave count that we can have here too is that that this is either wave 3 here, and we've got an A wave and a B wave and a C wave for wave 4 here, and then having wave 5 up here as well. There's also another count further back where we can also have wave 3 here. I don't think it's the case, but it doesn't really matter. What we really want to do is we want to, we know that we're approaching a top. I expected the market to reach the 2,500. I also know that the levels, above this as group 1, which are 10, 20 and 30, and then obviously below is group 2 here. And it's not like group 2 is still support here, isn't it? It's not like group 2 is the retested resistance here, because when I'm working with this number here, then group 1 above and group 2 below are the sort of, the support and the resistance here. If we got support on 25.30, then I know that we would be heading up. I would simply trade up from that point if we got a tested support here. But while the market is in this space here, then really it's still doing the dance of this number here. So I've just got to be a little bit careful. I expected it to get here, but obviously the Frank stocks on the NASDAQ have moved things a little bit here. So we've just got to see what occurs here now, that's all. But this low here is the short trade, and if the other side to this, of course, too, is that we could look at this high and this low here. So the 50-60% retracement level is, well, where it is now, really. So that's there. So we probably could say that you could probably look to go long on 24.75 here as a tested support, and that would take in this number here. But I'd just be very careful about how things pan out from this point here. But we don't want to miss the entry on the short trade. That's the main thing here. So just bear that in mind here. We can obviously also use this trend line here as well, because if that becomes the tested support resistance, we can use that as well. And you know, with trend lines too, doesn't matter if they're sideways or they're on an angle, but a market needs to basically move through them and come back and retest it, the same as moving through this way as well. You know, this will happen 90% of the time, so it's worth sort of, you know, including it in the analysis and the trade setup. But kind of what I like about this here, I just want to check on the cash market while I'm here. I mean, the thing is that this move here on the cash market, moving up through here, is in 3 waves. So it does suggest to me that we've actually got here an A wave, B wave, and a C wave coming into play here. So looking for 5 waves from this low here up into this space here. So I'm just going to let it go and leave it at this today. But the main takeaway here is that if we do have a top in play here, then the 2465 is the short trade. And it's quite important too, because, you know, if it is, then we're going down, you know, down to roughly around the 2300 mark. So getting this initial position in is quite critical as a starting point. But let's see how we go, and let's see how this builds as well. I mean, the other point for this being an A and a B and a C up here for this is that this can also be an A wave down here, a B wave back up, and a C wave sitting right here, because this appears to be in 5 waves as well. So there's a lot sort of actually going on here, and I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but that's the trigger at this point here. I can see too with Google, for instance, here, just while we're here, we haven't really had the first high above the level here. So it's normally the arrival, the reaction, and the first high above the level. So the move down in Google here appears to be in 3 waves here. So it's quite possible that this could be wave 1 and 2 here, and then 3 and 4 and 5 to finish off, and then we get, you know, then we get this correction here. So this low in Google's going to be quite critical as well, because if that's breached here, because you can see that from this high down to, it's already moved at 61.8% retracement level from this high to this low to this high, or this high. It's moved down quite deeply. So another low here would pretty much cement in a top here. When we look at Amazon, also at $1,000 as well, it's a better fit here in that I was looking for this to move up pretty much into this space where it is at the moment. So in this case here, the move down appears to be in 5 waves coming down here. So we would look for an ABC rally here, and then down from this point here. So you'll have to also be careful in other tech stocks too, now as well, if these guys are going to move here. But let's just see if we get this here, or we're going to get this as the 1 and the 2 here, and the 3 and the 4 and the 5 here, and then, you know, then the wave 4. So it's getting very close here. We just need to keep confirming and gathering evidence. You know, it's a process. The other way to look at this too is that, you know, when the market moves down to the 1,000, you know it's going, most of the time it's going to bounce. And then if it moves through, it's going to come back and retest it as well. So the good thing about stock is that if the market retests here, then, because normally we would just have a line across here and you would short at that point. But what you can do is that if this move up here is on lower volume than the move down here, then you know that it's a corrective pattern going up here, and you can short it into the into the 1000 sort of area and get a better position there. So if you find it difficult to find the volume there, then you might need to move out into into larger time frames, so hourly, or you can go on 2 minutes and move out to hourly and daily and so on, until you can see that from that low to that high here, did that have more volume or less volume in it than the previous bar that brought this one down? And then that's your catalyst to short. So we'll be looking at these markets to short as well. And of course, these markets being on the negative side will create more negativity on the global front as well. Alrighty, cheers.